so one of my favorite things about the E46 M3 is highway exit ramps. Now you have what makes this car so good? Well, we're going to go over that in this video. Oh man. All right, so now we're going to heel toe. Hold on. There we go. Now we'll have a little acceleration here, merge onto the highway. Make sure your engine's nice and warm. Now this car, E46 M3, we're here in the United States, is model year 2001 to 2006, has 333 horsepower from the 3.2 liter naturally aspirated inline six engine. Makes its horsepower high up in the rev range. So 7,900, we have, when this car is warmed up, about an 8,000 RPM red line, and this car actually pulls to 7,900. Torque is very low. It's a torqueless wonder, 262 foot-pounds of torque at 4,900 RPM. What makes this car so great? It's rear-wheel drive, and it's a very controllable rear-wheel drive. I used to autocross the first E46 M3 I had, and it's very controllable, almost like a Miata, where you can kind of, the tail steps out very progressively, and it's easy to catch. And it worked really well in autocross with the stock setup and good tires. I have size 13 feet, so for me, it's pretty easy to heel toe. Turn our radar detector back. You can even get pretty good gas mileage with this car. Who cares about gas mileage? But if you drive it conservatively, you'll get pretty decent gas mileage. Now this car has a 0 to 60 time of about 5 seconds. Car magazines back in the day had about 4.9. Some of them had about 4.7, which I think is a little fast. So realistically, 4.9, about 5 seconds to 60. Now when you think about it, most cars that you're going to see on the road, it's such a well-balanced car. That's really probably the best thing about this car. Normally aspirated, stick shift, available stick shift. That was the standard transmission. Obviously you could get the SMG, and just such a balanced car. Holy crap, is this car balanced. It's so much fun to drive. It'll make you a better driver even in these terrible potholes than you probably actually are. Another heel toe downshift. You can catch anybody on your highway exit ramp. We're still not at peak horsepower there, approaching 6,000 RPM. This car is the right size, the right weight, about 3,400 pounds. Here we lost some traction there, we need some traction. A little heavier for the SMG cars. Convertibles were about 3,700. You definitely want the coupe. The coupe with the manual is really the enthusiast choice. There you go. So really, when you see the cars on the road here, most of these cars that we see on the highway are slower than 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. So really, when I was daily driving this car, and I did daily drive videos, and I also did videos what to look out for when you buy one, you know, this car is 91,000 miles. We're about to hit 92,000 miles. And, you know, going for a fun drive like this or your daily commute, it's still faster than most of the cars on the road. So this car is still relevant. Even though this is maybe driving a slow car fast, what we're doing today, you know, when you drive it in this context, it holds up very well. You just got to be careful for the pitfalls for these cars. They can be really expensive to fix, especially if you're not handy yourself and you have to bring it to a shop. But I'm telling you, as far as fun to drive, this is probably one of the most fun cars for the price. with this car is just go up and down through the gears on my favorite back roads. And today we are doing highway exit ramps. Alright, let's shut off this. We will unplug the false alarms here. And again, love a manual transmission. Allows me to rev match my heel toe downshifts here. Now this car doesn't have backup cameras, Apple CarPlay, but you don't need it, my friends. You don't need it. And it's just an amazing car. You could easily trail brake it to get around the turns. Again, it will go to oversteer if you're not careful with it. So you definitely need a good set of tires, and you need heat in those tires. And you don't want old tires either. You want tires that are less than 5 years old. And this will be a great place to be. Wow, yeah, man. It definitely likes oversteer for sure. We'll go back on the ramp for some more fun. You can turn in pretty quick with this car, so it's not a slow in, fast out. You can go in pretty quick, but remember, the tail is going to want to move on you. Now, this is a lot more planted than, say, a C63 AMG. You even drive, you see my video on the new C63S at the track, and that's, you know, that's a 2019 or whenever I drove it, and it's still moving around a lot. Let's do exit ramp again. Why not? But this is definitely a balanced, confidence-inspiring car if of course, you're a good driver. We're going to keep our distance from the motorcycle here. Now here's a bad driver who's just going to cut over. I could do these exit ramps all day long. I'm pressed for time, so I can't really get to my favorite roads. So right now I'm just doing some exit ramps to show you guys how cool this car is. Now, bumps can upset the car. The potholes are so bad here, it could make you lose a little grip. If you push really hard with this car, do something stupid, you could also obviously make it understeer. See, we had a little oversteer there getting on the gas. We got a lot of rough pavement here, so you really got to be careful. Last thing you want to do is crash your modern classic M3. But you can easily steer it with the throttle. I can get it off the gas now. It turns in sharper. As you see, as I get on the gas, it's going wider. All right, so we got some clear asphalt, so we got to take advantage of it. All right, so now these are all decreasing. Most of your turns are decreasing radius turns, so what you want to do is stay to the outside, and you don't turn in. The apex is going to be when you see the end of the turn. So the apex is late, therefore decreasing radius turn. I see some videos where they call it declining radius turn, same thing. Actually, you know what, we're going to stay. I can't believe how many cars are on the road. This road is packed. So there's a little dip there that'll upset the car. Now you have 2 lanes. And again, make sure your engine is nice and warm. Now our apex, I can see the end of the turn right now, and now I can turn in. It's a very, very late apex. I still turned in a little too early there. All right. Feed the gas as you come out of the turn, and we'll go in again. Do another loop. But that's what's the great thing about this car. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to have fun. So these cars are probably about $20,000, 20 to 25. I saw a car with 130,000 miles just sold for $18,000. This car would probably be in the low 20s. If I ever sold it, I'd probably ask 25 and see what happens. Probably sell it for 22, 23. There we go. And let me tell you something, there's not much in this price range that could give you this much joy. And you will have to spend some money maintaining it, but there's not much, there's really no depreciating left on these cars. If anything, they're going up in value. There we go. So again, we can steer with the throttle, come off the throttle very slowly or back off the throttle. Shouldn't come off it on a turn like that. And then I'll tuck in, and then obviously you get on the throttle, it's gonna go a little wide here. So I'm gonna make it tuck in again. And now let's accelerate, let's go. Whoa. This is my car, so I'm babying it. I don't wanna go, I'm not going over 7,000, but that was 7,000 RPM. And it's just a thrill, you know, slow car, fast. If you drive this car in isolation, it can seem actually very quick. You get in a real fast modern car, it'll seem slow, but you drive this car all day or a couple days in a row, it'll feel plenty fast because you hear all the noises. The throttle response is instant because it's normally aspirated engine. You have plenty of power to pass people. I'm in 6th gear right now. You could drop a gear or two, and believe me, it'll be no problem passing anybody on the road here. So this car to me is more of a handling car than a straight line car. We'll go down to 3rd gear here. Now there's a bump here that's going to upset us. There we go. And now we have still in 3rd gear. Got a little oversteer there because I got on the gas. Now we can feed the gas at the end here. And now we'll slow down. So that's a quick drive in the E46 M3. I highly, highly recommend this car, guys. Definitely get one. Like, share, and subscribe so you can watch a lot of E46 M3 videos on my channel. I'm a 2-time E46 M3 owner. You know how much I love these cars. Get one. Highly recommend it. Buy it now. Thanks, guys, and I will see you next time.